The iconic Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi is hosting round 4 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. The battle for the championship is clearly heating up, and the slightest mistake in qualifying or the race could be extremely costly. The title race is closer than ever, with only 6 points between overall leader Tom Oliphant and second-placed Al Faisal Al Zubair. And with only 68 points separating the top 6 drivers and a maximum of 50 points to be gained this round, a strong result could shake up the driver standings substantially. A closely contested round 3 at the Dubai Autodrome saw Tom Oliphant get the better of his Omani rival in race 1.
I was very determined. I wasn't going to let anything slip. The first couple of laps I knew were my advantage, and really pleased.
Al Zubair fought back with a start-to-finish victory in the second race, maintaining the same small margin in the overall driver standings.
Good laps, good race, good win. Lap after lap, just focusing and got the win, so very happy with it.
The stage for another thrilling race weekend is set at the Grand Prix track in Abu Dhabi, a favourite amongst many of the 18 drivers from 11 different countries.
It's very tough. It's fantastic. I mean, it's one of my favourite tracks to drive. You kind of got 3 tracks in one. First section, you know, I love. You know, it's fast. It's ballsy. So, you know, I've been purple through there most of the day. The second section is just straight, but the third section is a proper sort of street track. You know, it's hustling over the curbs, and especially around the sort of section by the hotel. You know, it's very tough to get the car stopped, and if you're not in the right place, you lose a lot of time.
It's a very good atmosphere. Everything is nice looking here, but the track is really difficult to bring it all together. It's not my favorite so far. So I've never been very fast here.
Yeah, Yas Marina is, for me, it's a circuit on another level when it comes to the tracks around the world. Of the tracks that I've been able to drive, it's probably my favorite. It's also the most difficult.
It's a beautiful track, very nice laid out. The last section is very technical, and the track itself is very big, so if you mess up on one turn, it takes a while to come back, so you have to add and put everything up together for a good qualifying lap.
The world-famous track was designed by engineer and former race driver Herman Tilke, a legend in the racing world.
Yes, it was in 2009 it was ready, and 2 years before we started construction, and this was a really tight schedule, and but at the end it was successful. Yeah, the idea of the track was to bring in the marina here, to go around with the track around the marina, and also the hotel. The hotel is the center of the track.
Tilke's son, Karsten, is an avid race driver and competes in the silver category of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East.
Actually, I started 8 years ago when my father asked me if I wanted to drive a race car. I never did any karting or any other motorsports before, so I just jumped into a cup car and started to do my first laps. It was very hard the first years, but then it got better year after year. First I started with Sports Cup in Germany, and after that I did 2 years of GT Masters in Germany with the GT3 cars. I did several 24-hour races in Dubai, Paul Ricard, and 12 hours of Zandvoort, but always with the GT3 car. So now it's for me quite difficult and challenging to be in a cup car again after all these years. And with no traction control, no ABS, it's quite tough. Of course, it's quite cool to be on a track which was built and designed by my father, so I can blame him when I make mistakes and I'm too slow.
It's a really hard competition here. You see a lot of Super Cup drivers and a lot of really very good drivers. So it's very hard to drive here, but also it makes fun for me as a father to look and to go around and to see the people, and everything is very good and very nice.
Another father-son pairing at the racetrack are David and Saul Hack from South Africa. Saul inherited the passion for motorsport early at the age of 3 when his father put him on his first four-wheeled motorbike.
Yeah, it's the first time, so again, just there came in no expectations, just to improve on myself, be the best I can be. As long as I'm improving over the weekend, then I can't complain.
Well, you know, I've always had this love, this passion, anything with a motor. So as a kid I had boats, then I used to be a pilot, a private pilot. So anything with a motor appealed to me. Give me a lawnmower, I was having fun, you know. So I think that's where it came from. And we started Saul on a motorbike, a four-wheel motorbike, I think when he was 3.5 years old. Took about half an hour before he landed on his head for the first time. But that's really where it grew from. And then onto motorbikes, eventually into cars. And it was just a progression and seeing how the different people operate. And to come here to look at this is simply amazing.
Dylan Pereira from Luxembourg only joined the championship in round 3, but already reached a podium finish in the last round. Let's take a closer look at the Porsche Super Cup driver in the Driver's Minute.
Best moment was last year in Super Cup when I finished my first time on the podium in Spielberg, so 3rd place. It was just amazing. I was almost crying. Worst moment was some time ago. I had a race in Oschersleben in karting, just was racing on 4th position, and then someone in front of me spins, and I just took his wheel and I just flipped over. Favorite racing track is Spa. It's also my, let's say, my home track, and I just love to drive there. After the Super Cup, so I wanted to go to the DTM or 24 Hours Le Mans. Yeah, playing football, I like it very much. That I did it also in the club before, and before 4 years I had to decide motorsport or football, and I decided for motorsport because I enjoyed it more.
Qualifying for race 1 provides a moment for the history books. Dylan Pereira sets the fastest lap ever recorded in a Porsche GT3 Cup car at Yas Marina circuit.
I had the fastest lap in qualifying and with the GT3 Cup car, so here on this track in Abu Dhabi. So yeah, it feels great to have, let's say, a little title, and hopefully I can beat this time even for tomorrow the qualifying.
Tom Oliphant clocks the 2nd fastest lap time.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan's been quick all weekend, and so is Faisal. So I'm really pleased to put it on the front row. I think, especially, you know, I think Faisal had a bit of an issue in that one. I'll hear a puncture or something like that. So he's starting 6th and I'm starting 2nd, which is perfect for me.
Charlie Freens starts from 3rd position.
Well, I had a big struggle in the free practice day. I had a crash and I had to change my car, so I had to get used to a new car today. Anyway, after all, 3rd position is a very good position to start, and I'm happy with my lap so far. So I'm happy to have the confidence back to fight for the top step.
Dylan Pereira gets a clean start and manages to stay ahead of Tom Oliphant.
I started from first position and had a good start, really good start. So I'm already at the start. I made quite a gap.
Faisal Al-Zubair, who only started from 7th on the grid, gains 2 positions right after the start.
Very good start, after starting from a bad position. Overtook 2 in the first lap and then stuck behind Charlie.
Further back in the field, Khalid Al-Wahabi, Saul Hack and Wolfgang Triller battle for precious championship points.
I locked up into the first corner on the second lap, and the 2 in front of me managed to pull away a bit, and I was involved in a fight with Wolfgang and Saul.
Triller got a good start, so he managed to get ahead of me at the beginning. Managed to take a place from Wahabi, and then I made a mistake myself, and I think he got me back.
After being stuck behind Charlie Friens for several laps, Al-Zubair overtakes the Dutchman in lap 9 for 3rd position. Race leader Pereira is in full control without any danger from the chasing pack. Pereira takes the checkered flag to win the race. Oliphant and Al-Zubair finish in 2nd and 3rd position.
I had warmer tires, I think, than the other guys, and so I tried to push hard at the beginning to have a gap. It works, and then I just tried to be consistent and do my laps, and yeah, it was good.
Held on to what I could and claimed second. You know, the important thing is that I beat Faisal. He had a bit of bad luck in qualifying, so I made the most of that and extended the championship lead, and yeah, I've got no doubt that we'll be quicker in tomorrow's race.
It's a bit too late, but yeah, we have another race tomorrow, so hoping for the win tomorrow.
I struggled after lap 4 or 5 with my front tyres. I had a lot of understeer, so really it was just hanging on at the end there, because I think it was Magnus or Christopher Bergström behind me. I'm quite pleased with it, yeah. Based on qualifying, I think it was a good result.
Slowly started to creep up to the guys in front. They had a really good battle ahead, but I just couldn't, tires dropped off too fast and just couldn't catch them towards the end. But it's a good place to watch what was happening in front, and it's good to come 2nd in silver.
Season 8 champion Ryan Cullen has taken on a new role in Season 9. Instead of racing himself, he acts as a coach for the less experienced drivers.
What I'm teaching the drivers I'm coaching is experience in setup and trying to figure out the way they drive. So to try and adapt what I'm trying to tell them to the way they drive. So it's kind of, if they're good on the brakes, then I have to help them with the braking, because it's all about the rotation mid-corner, and there's different stuff going on during a lap. And also the concentration it takes to do a qualifying lap and to be consistent in the race, which I've been strong in the race normally, and I have a different technique of building up in a race to most people, so I try and teach them that, and the results are pretty good for my drivers. I was coaching the Swedish drivers. They've made a big jump this year, and now switched to Khalid from Oman, who's very new. He's only 17, and he qualified P5 in Dubai, beat a few gold drivers. He's only 17.
Being a successful race driver requires very special skills. One of them is not getting distracted by external factors and to be able to focus solely on the race.
Do you visualize your lap during qualifying? Nope. Do you close your eyes?
Nope.
Yeah. Do you do much simulator work?
No.
I can see that.
I'm faster than you around.
Yeah. Do you know what track you're on right now?
Yeah, Nürburgring.
Have you raced it?
Yeah.
Did you beat me?
No. Did I?
No. It was wet. Who would you say is your favourite Irish driver?
Not you.
Not me. Who would you say is the oddest teammate you've ever had?
You.
Me?
By far.
Not Michael?
No, you.
Pereira records the second consecutive pole position in the qualifying for race 2.
It was quite okay. It's a P1, finished P1, so it's on that point of view it's okay, but our lap was not so good then yesterday I did two mistakes on that lap.
Al-Faisal Al-Zubair bounces back after the disappointment in the previous qualifying with the second fastest lap.
Last lap, got a really good lap in. Finished second, so definitely good start on the front row.
Tom Oliphant starts from third position.
Not ideal. I think on my best lap, I locked up going into the hotel section, which cost me my pole lap, and then my next lap I kind of hung on when my tyres weren't quite as good as they should be. So. Yeah, I definitely was on a lap for pole up until that point. So.
Right after the start, it gets crowded at the front of the field. The top 4 battle for positions throughout the first lap. Pereira and Al-Zubair outbreak themselves at the end of the long straight, opening the door for Oliphant to slip through.
Had a good start, and yeah, after first back straight, I don't know what happened.
A few corners later, Charlie Freen sees a gap to pass Al-Zubair. The cars touch, causing Al-Zubair to spin out.
Me and Charlie went side by side after the second straight. I thought I gave him a car width. We touched there, but I'm not sure who's at fault.
Bahrain's Isa Al Khalifa catches a bad start and loses several positions.
Well, the race started off with an awful bad start. Didn't want it to be like that, but it happened, and tried to continue in my position, but a couple of cars passed me in the start.
Fourth place, Khalid Al-Wahibi comfortably observes the tussle in front of him without much pressure from behind.
Had a really good start compared to yesterday. Managed to stick behind the top 3 boys.
Al Zubair, whose spin moved him all the way to the back of the field, slowly regains position after position. Lots of action also in midfield, where 7 drivers fight for positions from 5th to 12th. Race leader Oliphant manages the gap to second-placed Pereira, who flat-spotted his tyre in the first lap. A dramatic race sees Tom Oliphant crossing the finish line first, ahead of Dylan Pereira and Charlie Freens.
Managed the race really. I had a big gap, so just didn't push too hard. Made sure I had the tyres at the end. Dylan was pushing, giving everything. Cut a few corners, but that didn't really matter. I'm really pleased over the moon. I have no idea where Faisal finished, but it puts me in the championship fight for sure.
Just try to come back, but with the flat spot I had, it was quite difficult, and I did my best, and now we'll see.
3rd place, podium spot is good for the championship, but congrats to Tom. He did an amazing race. I mean, they took a gap, they kept a gap, which is amazing. And next time, better luck and get 1 step higher.
For what happened, I think it was a good race. So yeah, just happy to finish the race.
The gap to the guys in front was too big and then pulled away from the guys behind. So hopefully next race we can close that gap to the big boys and just maximize what we can do.
It was a hard beginning because I make a mistake in the qualif, so I start P10. But I make a good start. I think I went 2 positions in the start. And after it was a hard fight with everybody. And, I finished second of the silver. It's a shame because I was come back in the first. Maybe next time.
In the overall driver standings, Tom Oliphant extended his lead with 192 points ahead of Al Faisal Al Zubair with 173 points. Charlie Freens is 3rd with 152 points. In the silver category, it's neck on neck between leader Magnus Oman, 2nd place Khalid Al Wahibi, and Christopher Bergstrom in 3rd place. Mark Radcliffe keeps the lead in the bronze category, followed by Mohammed Al Saud and Rob Freens. The Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East returns to action with the all-important penultimate round at the Bahrain International Circuit. Stay tuned.